When Katrina came, the first thing that happened is we actually thought we dodged the bullet. It was a big storm, and certainly there was some issues, but it wasn't the storm. It was the flood that followed that really created the devastation for the city when the levees broke. What happened then is life changing for everybody that was involved, which is an understatement. The United States has never been impacted. We've never had a city that has had the kind of devastation, widespread devastation, that Katrina brought about. It took out everything. There was no communication. The city was landlocked. There was no entry or exit from the city. People were stranded. As we tried to do the evacuation prior to the storm, where hundreds of thousands of people, millions, had to move. Radio was the integral part of that, and that's how the information got out. Post-storm, the city was an eerie, desolate, empty island. There was no electricity. When I say no electricity, that's not like an area had no electricity. The entire city had no electricity. That means that there were no streetlights, that there was no communication, there was no television, there were no printing presses, there were no cell phones, there was not even any walkie-talkies. We were able to provide a safety net to the city that saved lives and lessened suffering for thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And that's part of the legacy of radio, and it's certainly a part of the legacy of Clear Channel. Overnight, quite literally overnight, we built studios and we created this thing called United Radio Broadcasters of New Orleans. We invited the intercom people in, and anybody that wanted to carry the signal of United Radio was free to do that. And we put it up on the bird so that anybody could tune to it. And at one time there were 100 and some odd stations that were carrying the United Radio feed. We had the resources, we had the people. Clear Channel brought in news people out of Atlanta and out of Minneapolis and from around the country. We had an engineer that came in from Alaska, from Anchorage, because he wanted to be a part of it, and Clear Channel set him down, and he spent a week and a half with us. Radio people are just innovative. We found a way to stay on the air when, in fact, everything said it couldn't be done. All of our disaster plans failed. You just never expected the things that happened. We had no studio, we had no STLs, but we found a way to make it work. And I remember thinking, the best way to tell you is an example of what took place. We have United Radio up, it's running, and wee hours of the morning, I'm walking back through the back area, and I hear coming out of the speakers for United, a caller, a lady, a mom who is absolutely just distraught, and she's talking to our people that were on the air at the time. I don't remember who it was at that moment, and she says, "Can you help me?" And she's crying, and she says, "Can you help me? I'm in my attic. I've got 3 kids. They're all in diapers, and the water's rising, and I tried 911, and there's no answer there. And I tried the police department. There's nobody that's answering anything. And this was the only number I knew to call. And can you help me?" And we had a liaison officer with the Louisiana State Police there, and she gave us the address, and I carried that information over to the police, to the state police officer, who took it to and gave it to the National Guard, and they dispatched a crew out. And I remember thinking, when I got into radio, I never knew it would be like this. I thought it was a grand, fun place to be. The idea of saving lives, wow. And we did that for hundreds of people. So my appreciation for radio and what I thought about the city, it wasn't that I thought about, oh wow, look what's happening to our city. I thought, oh wow, look what we can do. Look how we can contribute. As sad as it was, I was extremely pleased that we had the calling, and when we were called, our people stood up and answered, and we delivered day after day after day after day. That's life-changing, and only radio could do that.